This mower is my latest acquisition. It's a Jacobson Ransom Marquis. Quite old, but British engineering at its best. I got it for an absolute song. It came with its box, collection box. It's driven by a inclined Villiers engine, and made about 100 miles from where I live. Super solid quality, very heavy. I had to use, I had to take the handles off and get it in the shed sideways, and had to use block and tackle to put it on my little bench that I want to work on. It was one of 4 I had the options on, and this was the smallest one. There was 2 mastiffs, which is half as wide again, by Ransoms, and there was the largest machine was an Atco that went for something like 40 quid, but it did have a ride-on roller seat behind. Absolutely superb. Okay, so I might have to spend a couple of evenings in the shed working on this, but it's only sharpening, oiling and getting it as I want it. It's already in current use, as are all the others. Why anyone should go to B&Q, Home Base or garden centres and pay out hundreds of pounds for a plastic wheeled Far Eastern rubbish beats me. They need their heads examined. Anyway, I'll give you a little tour of this. Okay, well here I've removed the chain drive cover. It's only held on by a single, well, I suppose you'd call it a nut. It's made out of steel anyway. And just checking on the amount of play of the chain drives, and it's not too bad at all. This is a centrifugal clutch driven from the engine, and the engine drives this cog and drives a 6-bladed cylinder round and round, and at the same time goes round this clutch, and that's operated from the handle. By operating the clutch or the handle, there's another cog inside, and it comes down to this cog and chain. There's no playing that either. And that drives the rear cylinders. In other words, it's self-propelled. There's very little or anything to do with this. I'll simply put the cover back. It doesn't even look as though it wants oiling. Quite surprised there's not a tensioner there, but obviously they consider it not necessary. But isn't it a real cracker? Wow. It's very clear your mother's come to stay. Not for a year. That ever... Did I say I picked it up for a song? Oh, well, apologies to George Gershwin. Ah dear. Right, it's important to note that machines of this age would have run on petrol that had lead in it before they started messing it around, so I'll put a drop of that in it. That'll help, lead replacement. I've cleaned the filter, switched on. Make sure the clutch is locked in the off position. Turn the fuel on, low revs. throttle maybe? No. Let's try a little bit of choke. Well, that sounds quite nice. That's rather nice. As you can see, it has a split ribbed drive cylinder, which means it will be very manoeuvrable. I'm of the opinion that it may be heavy enough and powerful enough to pull a seat behind. Guess what my next project might be?